Good afternoon, everyone. Maybe it's still morning. It's still morning here in Arizona. So I'm going to make this pretty brief so people would that have lots going on. It's going to go more than 8 seconds, which I keep hearing is that people's attention span. I think it's more than that by the way of the subject matter is enables them to become more that they'd like to become. So I'm going to trust that that's the case, but still keep it brief. What this is about is this book, Quantum Living, Moving at the Speed of Life. So this was published July 11th of last year. And to rave reviews, it's been in 15 countries and testimonies coming in from the other countries as well as throughout America and Canada in some cases. And so why is this happening? Why is this spreading? Is because the timing of this book being published could not be more timely. And on the back of the book is written a testimonial that I was going to put on the website and have, but the editor of this book said that testimonial in one sentence is so strong and so good, we're going to put it on the back of the book. And so much to my surprise, here it is. I'm going to read this to you very quickly to give you this one sentence, to give you an idea of how timely is this book, according to Peter Baird in Texas. As humanity enters the age of enlightenment, Quantum Living is a transformative masterpiece that will be regarded by history as the perfect book at the perfect time. So what does that mean, perfect book, perfect time? The information in this book is perfect for the circumstances we're living in, which in part is how fast things are speeding up. So with things speeding up as fast as they are, how do we keep up with the speed, make decisions that will benefit our life, and keep us on a path of unfolding our potential and abundance? So how do we do that? And so how we do that, moving at the speed of life, basically means making decisions from a different information source, which turns out to be the most brilliant of all. And the information source that we've utilized in the past has been rational mind stuff. Well, that makes sense. And let me ponder what happened last time something similar happened. And what did I do back then? And then how did that unfold? Okay, well, that seemed to work out pretty good last time, is how rational mind evaluates. It pulls up data from experiences that are, filed in the mind and tries to find similarities and differences. And that's what the mind does. However, the speed of that, so think of using your rational mind on the hockey ice, playing hockey on the ice, right? You're going, I wonder. And before you've even managed to put your finger and touch your chin, the hockey puck has hit you in the head and you're unconscious on the ice before you even finish the question. What should I do here? Right. So we all call it the zone in athletics. So all athletes are call about getting in the zone. And what are they doing when they're in the zone? Rational mind is no longer being utilized in the zone. Things are moving way too fast for that. And so the same thing is happening in our lives. Things are moving so fast now. We simply must find another information source that puts us in the zone, that is making perfect decisions for our life, our moment, and our future and our destiny. So it's a big deal. And that's what this book is about. That information source, by the way, is referred to in the frequency within the quantum field as intuitive intelligence. And intuitive intelligence is personal for each individual. It's such a good subject and it's such a good resource that we need practice to be able to have that be our operating system on a regular basis rather than the unusual source. So this book has to do with that. The introduction in here has to do with, like, the biggest lie ever told is that we're little with no power. That is the number one biggest lie ever told to humanity. And as long as we think we're little without power, we won't explore what would that power look like if I bring it forward and what would I do with it. So there isn't really education on that, other than from people that are going on their own personal journeys spiritually for a long time. And they discovered that through asking the questions that come from a heart-based intelligence, which is intuitive, connected to directly each individual. So it's personal for each individual. I give the example, if you're at dinner with 6 people and you get an intuitive hit to go home right away, that doesn't mean the whole table has to get up and go home. It means that I do, because it's my hit for me personally, something to do with my life, what's going on there. So that's one part that's in the introduction, is that we need to realize we're by far much larger a being than what we've been even allowed to spend on a regular basis for a long time. But now it's time to spend that bigger us. It's the most important time in what's going on in the world, right? Is to make decisions that are based on from this moment forward, which we cannot do from looking at anything in the past, how it worked in the past, because there's pretty much nothing that we're experiencing has any reference in the past. Looks all new to me. Everything's like, didn't see that coming, do you know? So anyway, that's that part. The other part in the introduction is if we can do two things, two things, our life just changed. Those two things are, number one, understand the power of intention. The power of intention, the word intention means generator of power to produce. That's dictionary. My addition on that is an outcome. It's a generator of power. Intention produces an outcome. On top of it, Mark Montgomery, a wonderful author of the quantum realm, wrote in the definition of quantum, quantum means the ratio between the amount of energy spent to the magnitude of the result. Small effort, intended genuinely, produces huge effort, huge result, very little effort. Mark Montgomery also said and wrote, by the way, he's teaching a lot of little kids about quantum, calling it the Philly the photon, which is pretty cool stuff. And so he also mentioned that the nucleus frequency that's inside quantum is intention. The highest of intention is being of value to humanity, to ourselves, and so forth. So anyway, that's one thing that we can do. It's all in the introduction, first 7 pages of the book, is to understand the power of intention. And you can understand it. Einstein said the only true source of knowledge is experience. So have some experience. And I intend to attract 3 new clients to my life today. Not I wish I had, I intend to. So that intention now launches movement. Watch what happens. So that's a way to practice that. And launching intentions is a practice. And be specific. Anyway, the second thing that we can do, now that we've launched intention and many things are going to start happening because of that, we'll start getting intuitive impulses like I should go there, even though there's no justification to do that. And people around you might say, what are you talking about? That's nothing to say you should go that direction. You know, what's going on? That makes no sense, is what people will say. Intuition doesn't come from a brain thing, a mind thing, a decision-making thing in the mind. Intuition comes from a heart-based. It's a higher frequency. In Heart Math Institute, very quickly, it's also in the book, talks about, and has been studying for 35 or more years, that the energy frequency coming from the heart, which they measure the human being, and the energy coming from the human being, and what can that energy do, and what is it, and where does it come from, and all of that. And what they have found from their studies is that what the energy coming from the heart is 5,000 times stronger a signal than anything we can think about or offer as an energy from our human beingness, is the heart base. So intuitive intelligence, intuition comes from the heart. So that's a very different location in the body. So it has a feeling connected to it. Now, the difference in making decisions from rational mind or making decisions from intuitive is rational mind looks for evidence before you decide. I want to see evidence and proof that what I'm thinking about matters or is correct for me to, assess. Intuition is an impulse that's very strong and has two settings: yes, no. So that's pretty simple. Yes is moving that direction, and then here's the caveat: the the validation and the information that the decision was correct is after you listened. And here's how you can tell that is that there's times we've all had intuitive hits, and when I really should have gone there, I really should not have turned left at this light. I really should have not gone on this meeting. And then we go anyway because there's no evidence. Intuition has evidence after you've listened. The mind looked for evidence before you decide. And so we've all had this where we go, oh my gosh, I wish I would have listened to myself. And then next time we go, oh darn it, I promise you, you watch me. I'm going to listen to myself. Next time I get an intuitive hit like that, I'm going to listen to myself and follow what I've heard. And next time comes, we go, no, that was probably a coincidence. Maybe not. And we don't listen and go, oh my gosh, I sure wish I would have listened to myself. And then on the other side, when we do practice getting that intuitive hit and listening to ourselves, guess what we do? I'm so glad I listened to myself. That turned out to be true. I'm so glad. I bought that lotto ticket at the 7-Eleven on the corner. I've been meaning to go by there, and today was the day I did. And oh my gosh, amazing. Even if you won a few $100s, so what? It's a few hundred you didn't have before you got that hit, right? So the two things in the introduction, well, actually like three. One is the biggest lie ever told is that we're little with no power. We need to stop that kind of belief right now because we really need our power. And so that's number one. Number two, but the two aspects of how we spend our power to exert it is power of intention. To start understanding the power of intention is gigantic. And two is now that we've launched this momentum, what's about to happen is the energy is going to be flowing. The energy is going to have intuition in it to go this way, to turn that way, to make this call now, exactly now. And we're going to go, I'm so glad I listened to myself because, oh my gosh, that person was just going to call me, or they were just going to leave and I caught them just in time. And things like that happen as the main course. So our new normal, just from the 7 pages in the introduction, our new normal will be understanding the power of intention and utilizing it. And number 2, listen to our intuitive impulses. That's just the introduction. And so the balance of this book is a guide on what causes our higher state energy. Einstein said everything's energy and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. Nikola Tesla, who is in this picture right there, and in this picture over there, right there, Nikola Tesla wrote, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of frequency, energy, and vibration. So that's where we're heading. We're start looking at things not through the rational mind, does that make sense? But looking at it through the mind of, if everything's energy, what does that mean? And when I realized through the writing of this book that was so profound is that genius is a frequency. Creativity is a frequency. Love is a frequency. Harmony is a frequency. Compassion is a frequency, all felt in the heart, I might add, right? So the cool thing about that is now evaluating your life from a very different perspective, because the quantum field is the most magnificent frequencies. That the genius, I used to believe that it's only referred to, what do you call it, welcomed by geniuses. They only have admittance, you have to be really smart. Well, it turns out that's not a brain thing. It's a vibrational thing. It's an energy thing. Compassion has an energy. I don't have to be a genius to have compassion. I don't have to be a genius to be loving. Those are all high state frequencies, and we get the exact same benefit that the geniuses that it was reserved for, I thought, were able to access also that has high states intelligence in it. It's such a big deal. And so the book is a guide to show what's happening when our attitude pinches off that great flow of our magnificent higher state self. What's happening when that happens? And so how do we pay attention to those signs, signpost up ahead kind of thing? And what's happening when we retire that part of us that's making a judgment of that's bad or that's good? What happens when we're actually evaluating a situation from good and bad as compared to what's the good in this, which is your higher states attitudes? It changes the field completely, that we're operating from everything is good. And just because I can't see it in the moment doesn't mean it's not there. It just means I can't see it in this moment, but it's coming. Because we've all had a judgment that little bit down the road go, oh my gosh, because that thing happened, that little thing or that horrible thing I told everybody about, and that's bad, and this guy was bad, and blah, blah, all of that, that a little bit down the road, we go, oh my gosh, if it wasn't for that thing I thought was really bad, if that didn't happen, this other door would have never opened. That's amazing. Huh, maybe that wasn't bad after all, which is my number one favorite thing about being older. I totally get that now. I totally get the patterns over the course of my life that I've made massive amounts of complaints about an injustice that's not fair, not right, not good, and all of that always seem to turn out well. Wow, big giant wow. If that thing didn't happen that I judge, and then spread the judgment to all my friends. You agree with me? That was bad, right? Am I right? Yeah, we think so too, because we would convince each other. And then down the road, have to call everybody back, go, oh my gosh, if that horrible thing didn't happen, turned out to be not horrible, it was the door opener that completely altered the course of my life. How cool is that? That's called freedom. That's called massive amounts of organic, we'll call it, abundance that just flows in organically, meaning from a frequency standpoint, it just flows in. The idea of doing is an older idea, because now the new idea is attracting. How do you attract the relationships you want? How do you attract abundance that you want? How do you attract the opportunity you're seeking? It's not a go get and go do. It's a attracting to you as compared to go getting for you. Very different, because it's all frequency. It's such a big deal. I'm very excited about this. I'm hearing amazing stories. There's people that get this and read like a few pages, and then they have to ponder for a while because it has content rich, they call it. There's people I know that just open it up to any page. They get up in the morning, open any page, every single page, every word, every sentence, paragraph, and page has a very cool energy in it that will activate and awaken some cool stuff in you. So regarding the book clubs, people are wanting to share and start doing a book club. And why would the book club be so cool to have? Well, the book club is where people can read the first 7 pages and then talk about it, because that's how people are going to learn, is when they can read, apply, and discuss. Well, I tried to do this, and then I don't know, maybe it didn't happen fast enough, but I don't know. And I'm wondering, does anyone else have the same experience? This is a very important subject to learn, whether you learn from this book or some other. But right now, this is ahead of the curve. And to learn that everything is energy and that's all there is to it, and how do you apply that to your future, to your moment now, and to fulfill why you were born to be here. Like, what's in that for you? And reading, trying and applying and discussing with others will do that. So no one has to be a genius. I'm not, I'm a regular person with a lot of passion to be of value to people. And that seems to keep my frequency pretty high. And it's pretty simple like that. So I want this for you. So please, whoever is reaching out to you about doing a book club, just consider going. It's a really, really important subject. I'm not kidding about this. There's somebody that is here in Arizona who will be doing the book club to be of value to people she wants to do business with at some point down the road by being of value to their well-being and like creating an arena, a platform for people to be on a call, a Zoom call, and possibly learn some things that are life-changing. That's what I'm hearing people say, whether they read a chapter, a page, a few pages, life-changing. A friend of mine in Colorado, he called and said he read this one part and wept like a child. It was so fulfilling to read. And that was fulfilling for me to hear. That's the purpose of this freedom and abundance and health and happy and longevity for everyone. So I hope you join a book club. I will be participating in them when invited, and show up as a surprise or show up as a, to launch or whatever. I'm here 100% to support people to be able to have access to this information. It couldn't be more important. It couldn't be more timely for us as we're, for the most part, as a humanity, reinventing ourselves in all kinds of ways. It's a new world. It's a new day. It's a new opportunity. And it's a new evolution of consciousness that's unfolding all over. And I so want this for you. So good luck with that. I hope to see you in the future. And thank you for paying attention to this video I wanted for you. Okay, so thank you again. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye.